Hey Besiegers, how you doing this week? Welcome to my 10,000 subscriber special. So first off, thanks to everybody who's followed me these past few months and who has commented and given me ideas and suggestions, and just everybody, not just on YouTube but on Reddit and on the forums at Spiderling, everywhere. I really appreciate it, I really do. Okay, we're kicking off this week with, I'm going to show you how to do big builds, or how I do big builds. So we're putting the trains aside, but don't worry, there's going to be plenty of action, more explosions and deaths than I have ever put in any of my videos before. So we're going to do this bit first though, right? Okay, so it's obvious we're building a house here. And the way in which I then proceed, once I've got a basic shape, obviously, is I start copying and pasting. Now to do that, you need the Editor Plus mod, okay, which is only sort of half working just now, but the bits you need are actually working, the copy and paste and the rotate. So what you do is you press Control A, and that turns it all green, and then you press Control C, and that copies the bit that you've just turned green. And then you use the little arrows on the left hand side there to move up one square at a time, or if you want to jump bigger than that, you change it to 10 or 20 or even 0.5 or 0.1. It's very good for very small maneuvers as well. So that is how I do it. That's how I make my big builds. I do the complicated stuff and then I copy it up. So here we go. I've turned this into a 5-story, by the way, which is as much as my computer can handle at 4,000 blocks, I think it was. Now, I'm using another trick here. I'm controlling the timing at which the building drops after it's caught fire and exploded. And that's really simple. What I did was I put pins on every floor when I was building it and copied them up, so that when I want it to drop, like now, I just press P at the right moment and down it comes. And there you have it. Hey, okay, Christmas time. Last week we did a Christmas decoration. This week it's the turn of the Christmas tree. There it is, the Christmas tree of doom and death and destruction. Because when you press the right buttons, this thing just goes mental. Now, there's a big tutorial at the end of this video. There you go. Michael Bay up again. I think I said Michael Mann last week. That was a mistake. Michael Bay. Anyway, so there's a tutorial on how to make this using that Editor Plus mod. You can make one of these in 15 minutes at the end of this video. But for the meantime, there you go. Enjoy the explosions. So that's it for Christmas for another week. I need to think of something else to do next week now, because I've done the Christmas tree too soon. I'll do a present next week. Exploding bombs, that's it. Exploding boxes. All right. So this next one is strange, yeah? What you're about to see is not what I intended to make, but what I accidentally made. Look at that. I bet you don't know what that's happening there. This box just goes mental and derps out. It looks like the new derp in Unity 2, Unity 02, is that it shatters into tens of thousands of pieces and then takes everything out. But all it was I set the controls too high and I had invincibility on, and it didn't like it. It went mental. So here's what I was trying to do. I was trying to take Eber Leichenhausen, his box idea that he used to have a few months back, and I wanted to make it fly by doing a bit of BSG editing and what have you. And I'd done a bit of this before with Igbuligas on Reddit, because we had like the peasant wars and we were flying boxes around and having a right old good time together. So this is an extension of that. It's just a big ass box. Yeah, it weighs a ton, and it's just got loads of balloons and loads of reaction wheels and all sorts in it. But it's a difficult piece. So this is a work in progress. It's not a finished thing by any measure. But I thought I would put it out there in case somebody else wants to try build one as well and comes up with ideas. It's got a few tricks up its sleeve, like the multiple cannons at the side. Again, controlling where the cannons are pointing is the biggest problem. But as you can see, it's quite effective. Quite a good looking machine as well, even though it's just square. I quite like it. That wasn't its main trick though. It had one other trick, one other big trick, and that's why it's still a work in progress, because I haven't cracked this yet, is that it splits itself in two and then drops bombs. So I've still got some of the mechanisms to completely get right. As you see, it was failing there. It splits itself at two, and then you get the outside restraining rods that stops it from flying apart or wobbling all over the place. And then you can open the gun ports at the side, and then you can use the reaction wheels to, that's the theory, so bits flying off it all over the place. Trying not to use invincibility on it, but it's difficult. Anyway, what I decided to do was, after I hit the tower, was to try and take out the good old statue, and using my reaction wheels. And it's not too bad. It tends to wobble about. Certain reaction wheels don't like to get used, as you can see. But I'd be interested to see if anybody else could try making one of these and see how far they get. I might come back to it soon, but I've got quite a lot of other projects in mind at the moment between now and Christmas. Plus, hopefully, we get new levels soon. I'm praying that we get new levels soon. I really am. Okay. So, by the way, I should mention that Neutex has a tutorial section on his channel on the workshop now, which I'll get back to in a minute. This is when I tried to land it on the Midlands guys, because you know I hate them. I really do. Oh, I love them, but I hate them. And it didn't make a bloody, not one single one got damaged at all. They're just too hard. So I thought, right, I'm going to make an Armageddon weapon, and I'm going to wipe little fuckers off the map. And that's exactly what I did. Say hello to my gigantic friend. That is a 1,000 ballast gun. I'm probably the last guy on Besiege to use ballast guns, but I thought I'll make up for it by making the biggest one. So now you can see it quite clearly there. It's 3,000 blocks in total, and again I used the the Editor Plus mod to make this thing, and I made it in no time at all. I made that in 15 minutes. It's just like nothing at all. All the blocks are set to 0.05 in weight, and then they're put onto explosive bolts and pins, and that's it. And then you just angle it. Again, you angle it using the editor. It's a lot of fun. That's it from behind, as you see it overtakes you and comes in. And I was going to call it Tsunami, because it creates a sort of wave afterwards. After the first one's hit the ground, they pick up and roll on after it. So it's quite spectacular. It really is. Nice bit of slow-mo there. Like I said, there is a big tutorial at the end. So we'll finish this bit. If you don't want to do the tutorial, thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate it. And thanks for all your support over the months. I look forward to trying to get to the next target. What would that be? 25,000, would you say? Or 50,000? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Until such times, I will leave you with all these images of the Queen's fodder getting pelted with the big machine. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. But hang on for the tutorial. Bye. Okay, right, first thing, take your starting block up above a height, okay, and put a wheel and a pen on it, and then stretch out some double blocks to wherever you want to go. Test it, make sure it's okay, make sure you've got invincibility on, and then feed it with some grabbers. I was putting them at 2 apart. They're probably better at 3 apart, I found later on, and 1 on the end for good measure. Okay, so that's your basic. We're going to build the entire tree just using this one arm. Okay, so there you go. Now what you can do is you can press Ctrl A and copy everything, but that copies the starting block and the wheel and the pin, and we don't want that, so I'm going to do it the hard, long way. You can uncopy the wheel and pin and block, but like I say, I'm just going to show you how to do it the long way. Use your spanner tool, switch the arrows off, use your spanner tool so that you can see exactly what block you're hitting, and then zip along, turn them all green, just like that. There you go. And then Control C, and that will make them go white, which means they're copied. It always shoves you away like that, and you need to zero back in on it, but you can see you've got them copied, they've all gone white. Alright, and now it's a matter of what we're going to do first. I'm going to rotate them here, the first time. Right. So yeah, we'll switch to rotate, and we'll leave it at 90 degrees, and the top one is your axes for the circle. You'll figure that out. It's represented by 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. The arrows, and you just click through it twice, and it will shove it through 180. You could have set it 180, but I've just chosen to do the 90 here. Right, now we're going to go back to move. Now earlier on I'd said that you could select any size you want to move at all. This one needs to move in half sizes because it's come out kind of strange. So in a moment or two you'll see I'll just type in 0.5 to get it absolutely perfect. Oh no, it's the next one. When we copy the double, you'll see what happens. Alright, so now what we'll do is we press You could press Control A and copy the whole thing again, spin it around. But again, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it a long way, just so that you can see. Use your spanner tool so you're highlighting the blocks. Disable the arrows so you can see your cursor, and then away you go. Just flip through them as quick as you can. Like I say, that was the long way of doing it. You can do it the short way by deselecting the wheel and the starter block. So now you press Control C again, and that will copy it. There we go, it's all turned white. And now again we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Right? Now this is where it gets out of step a little bit, which is quite good because I can show you the half point. Again, along the height axis, it gives you the correct point. Now as you see, it's come in kind of strange. I don't know why it did that. So we just go for move, and I click it around a couple of times here until I discover that it's less than one block needing at the end. So we'll mess around with that for a minute. The arrows annoyingly disappear like this all the time, and then all you've got to do is change your angle. I'm so used to using them, I just guess where they are. But if you can't see them, change your angle of view and they'll pop back into existence again. But it is a pain in the arse when it does that. But I mean, this is such a mighty tool you put up with these things, because if you want to be a serious builder, you really need to get to know this piece of kit. The Editor Plus mod is the mod for building big or building clever. Again, so like I said, the two things, the precision the precision movements in it, like point 1, 0.5 and all that, they're just amazing. And you can angle down to 1 degrees. So I'll do an angle tutorial again later on. I've actually shot it, I just haven't done a voiceover for it. So here we go. Yeah, enough waffle. Quick test to make sure we're not overcopied. By that I mean there's not blocks occupying the same space and it all explodes. So there we go, we're fine. We copied it around. Now what we do, we're going to move it through 45 degrees the next time, and then move it up. So Control C, Control A, sorry, and now Control C, which makes it jump away. And flick it up. See, that bloody cursor keeps disappearing. I think I went for about 15 or 20 blocks. You choose. Give it a good distance because they do tend to whack into each other after you've let the grabber go. So the further away, the better. Also, when you're letting them go, it's a good idea to key them to the P as well, so that everything falls at the same rate and they don't whack into the arms of the Christmas tree. If you're building something like this, I don't know if you're going to, but I think this is just to show you how to use the editor, not how to build the Christmas tree specifically. So there we go. Right, we've changed it to 45 degrees and we're now going to spin it in it again, same axis, up and down, and there we go, we've got 45. So all we need to do now is press Control A again, which brings the whole thing selected, then Control C and then move up. Do that twice and you've got an 8-layer tree, and that's exactly how we got to this point. It's got to cycle through the scale, colour, move, rotate until you get what you're looking for. Change it from the 0.5 here, going back up. I'm going to select 10 I think this time, make it go up in jumps, and then up it jumps. I was quite happy with that, I think. Oh, another one. There you go. And then Control A again to select the whole thing. Control A, so I've got it, and copy, we've got it. Up it goes. It's always the green one that moves. And the green one stays selected so that you can recopy it. And if you want to clear it, it's the little ball in the middle of the cursors, in the middle of all the arrows there's a little ball. You control click on that and that will clear your current selection so that you can select again. While you're in this state and you've got everything greens and whites, you can actually still build. You can pause your operations right here and start adding stuff or taking stuff away. For instance, you could trim the arms of that tree so that it looked like an actual Christmas tree a bit more, you know. So there's a lot of things you can do while the editor has got a hold of blocks. Not a problem at all. So that wraps it up really. That's about it. Have fun. Leave if you anything you need to know at all. Just put a question in the comments. Like I said, Neutex is now running a really good tutorial section on his channel in the workshop, and I've left a link to that below. Thanks guys. See you next week. Bye.